This week on the Movie Rebrew, Ben and Josh get scared to Jesus and conjure up a poo or two.
In the Conjuring. That's, we just gave it away. That's all they do is conjure poos.
The whole damn time.
For 2 hours.
It's the Movie Rebrew. Welcome to episode 109 of the Movie Rebrew, the show that goes out and watches movies, tells you what we think, because you don't want to.
You don't want to.
My name is Josh Spicer.
I'm Ben Harold. It's a dangerous thing, reviewing movies.
Not everyone can do it.
I feel like my life is constantly in danger every time I do it.
Well, someone's got to do it, and you elected us.
They didn't elect.
I know. We elected
ourselves.
Self-appointed.
We're like Egypt.
Okay, this week...
If you don't know what's going on in Egypt, then it's like...
No, doesn't matter.
Girls, it's way past your bedtime.
This week, we went out and saw The Conjuring, a new James Wan film. He brought you such delicious films as Saw and Insidious. The Conjuring is a story based on true events and real people. What's their names again? The Warren family or something?
Yeah, the Warrens, I think.
Yeah, Warrens. They have brought you other stories in their lives.
Yeah, they influence all the haunting.
Amityville.
Not just the modern day haunting movies that you've seen, but also the classic horror movies that you've seen too. Anything involving a creaky old house,
or a possession of some sort,
or an exorcism. They've pretty much been the two figures that have influenced a lot of those films.
If not every single one, because they are before this was a thing. And now it's a thing, and going into this movie, I thought it was just going to be another possession movie. It was going to be
just another...
Yeah, and honestly, it is not. I'm a fan of Insidious, 3/4 of that movie. The other quarter, it got a little too floofy for me in its wrap-up, blah, blah, blah. You can say the same about this, but I wouldn't. It is a period movie that he hasn't done before, and he does so well. You can tell he is a super fan of all the original movies that we hold in high regard, and he does this in a new way as well, but also stays true to the classics so well. I fucking loved this movie, and you can tell he's a fan because there were things I saw from a ton of other movies. But he redid it with taste and class and did it a little bit different and different enough for me to enjoy it as something different. And I cannot say enough good things about how this movie... There was some wicked camera techniques and stuff I have never seen before in a horror movie. And his tension is more like the best tension I've ever seen in movies. Like, I've never been at the edge of my seat more than maybe like Paranormal Activity started that whole but this is a real...
He creates suspense without having the convenience of a Paranormal Activity surveillance camera. You know what I mean?
Well, they kind of use little tricks from every style of movie, but it makes sense for what they're doing in the storyline, and it's so seamless, and his creaks and sound effects and everything he does is flawless. I love this movie. It's one of my more favorite horror movies in the last, I don't even know how long. Like, people are not doing horror movie genre justice like James is. I fucking loved it. I'm giving it 5.5 bottles.
5.5. Yeah, the one scene that I really that came to mind, the more I thought about it afterwards, the more I realized that if this wasn't a horror movie, this is the only thing. These type of scenes only work in horror movies. Was when she's in bed and she's getting tugged on, and then she's getting a tugger. She wakes up and she sees something in the corner, but we're looking, like, from our perspective,
You can't see it.
there's nothing there. It's just black. But because it's a horror movie and because the way that it's presented to us,
But the acting was
we're
so well done too.
supposed to, we're there with them. We think that there could be something there. So we're just as scared as these two people. And if you take that scene and you take it completely out of the context of a horror film, it's not scary.
Yep.
There's nothing there. They're pretty much just staring at a blank space. But because James Wan is able to do it so well, we're terrified in that scene. I mean, it's just... And he does those suspense scenes very, very well. He's very playful with his camera techniques, which is something very refreshing. I haven't seen that in horror movies in a long time. His presentation of almost every scene
Of the house at the beginning.
just paying attention to the little things, you know, like
the
making
introduction to the house,
Yep,
that
introduction
big
to the
fall.
house, yeah.
I felt like I knew
And-
every room of that house by the end of
Yep.
the movie.
And it is a period piece, so he's, like I said, he pays attention to the little things. Plus, he's able to get some very cool set designs. The creepy old house,
And
the
like
cellar,
the zoom ups and like shining reflections, stuff like that. Just so good.
Yeah. So I was creeped out. It's hard for me not to be creeped out these days. But yeah, I really appreciate it for its aesthetic value in that it really looked like an old-fashioned horror film. For fans of, like, a lot of people bash the original Amityville Horror or Amityville Horror.
I say Amityville.
They bash it because it's bad. But really, it is one of those cornerstone horror movies that influenced so many other horror movies to come out of it.
Well, the story, not...
But
it drags.
Including movies like The Shining and Poltergeist. It was very influential in doing that. And having said that, this film really reminded me of Amityville Horror.
And all those movies.
Yeah, but plus it takes a lot of really cool influence from, like, The Evil Dead, going down to the cellar, you know, discovering the cellar. I thought that was very Evil Dead-esque. The clocks ticking, you know, stopping at a certain time.
Fucking...
And then the birds...
he pays attention. Yeah, well, and Hitchcock and this and that. You know, there's so many references so well. What are you giving this one?
I'll give it 5 out of 6. I'll give it 5 out of 6.
Do yourself a favor. Like, you will be... There are some really good jump scares. There are fake outs. There's everything you want to see in a horror movie.
It's a movie that...
Minus gore.
Yeah.
Which
it's a movie that relies entirely on scares. And, I mean... There are a lot of people who say that, well, it's just scare and nothing else. But there's a lot of people that say, like, the movies are too gory, they don't have that aspect.
Help! Andrea! Help!
It's not mine!
Thank you for watching episode number 109. 109 for you people. What are you recommending this week, Josh?
This time I'm gonna recommend you, and I'll put the link up. I'll find it. I watched it online, and I like recommending something that you can go right now and watch online. But I really want you guys to see the short film Saw before the full-length feature, just to see where James Wan started, and it's really good actually to see, you know, that this is what we're doing, this is what we're working towards, and I hope one day we will get the chance. So check it out and enjoy.
I haven't saw it, but I'm thinking I will saw it. Good recommendation. High five. I'm gonna recommend The Innkeepers. It's a movie that came out a couple years ago.
It was 2011?
2011.
That was when we were doing the show constantly.
Yeah.
Because it was on our site, the trailer wasn't.
It's another creepy little haunted story about a haunted inn.
By the same people that did The House of the Devil.
Yep, same director who did House of the Devil, which is another very underrated movie about...
I don't think that's as underrated as Innkeepers was.
Well, no, but I mean, not a lot of people know about it, but it's the same premise. Not the same premise, but same idea. Haunted.
And period.
And period. Yeah, so I think he's just going to keep doing this. I mean, that's two.
He does them
202,
well.
so yeah, he doesn't.
What the hell just happened?
Freaked me out.
The Innkeepers. We're talking about possession and shit is like...
Well, his light just kind of...
I don't know what happened.
Anyways, that's what I recommend.
We just freaked out. I'm gonna fucking rewind that and play it over and over again because I thought something was gonna follow me. That these lights get really hot, so I thought a burning light was gonna follow my head. So.
I told you this was dangerous.
Oh my god.
We told you this was dangerous.
That was scary.
It's not hard being...
We're talking about nothing but possession movies, and now my house is flipping out at us.
It's not hard being movie critics. Actually, it's very hard being... What am I talking about? It's hard being movie critics and drinking beer all the time.
That was the wrong way the whole time.
I'm sorry. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Movie Rebrew.
Go to CalgaryMovies.com for all your Calgary movie listings. We're not weekly. We're not .ca. We're .com. Go to therebrew.com and have yourself a fantastic day.
Week. Month.
Well, yeah, we might even see you next week. Who knows? Depending on what comes out.
We'll see you whenever, all right? Goodbye.
We're fucking busy.
Get out of here.
Leave us alone.
I'm not wearing pants.
I am not your uncle. Good night.